Hey there, and welcome back to PCOS Unfiltered, where we ditch the fads and get real about healing with PCOS. I'm your host, Lindsie, and today's episode is extra special because I'm joined by Kerri, a certified health coach specializing in sugar addiction. We're diving into emotional eating and how to start healing your relationship with food. You're going to walk away with real-world insights, a few laughs, and lots of empowerment. So let's jump in.
Yeah, or I do the I'll just eat it so fast like it never happened. But I have to laugh at myself because I've done, everything that people are embarrassed to talk about. Like, I've done that. So,
Yep. I mean, I probably have too at some point.
yeah.
Maybe not in the same way, but yeah, for sure. We both have our journeys that have gotten us here, so that we can teach others, everything that we did wrong. How does mindful eating play a role in disrupting this cycle? You just touched on that a little bit, but if we want to get a little bit more in depth with that one.
Yeah, for sure. So I think making intentional choices. So like we said, you're not going to never eat chocolate cake again, right? But if you're like, let go of feeling around chocolate cake. If I'm at a party and my friend makes the best chocolate cake ever and I want to have the chocolate cake, I'm going to intentionally have that. And I'm going to give myself permission to enjoy it with all of my senses, right? How does it smell? How does it feel in my mouth? How does it taste? I'm not biting and swallowing like I just talked about. I'm not shoving it down and eating it super quick. I'm actually enjoying the food. So I'm not punishing myself. I'm not just inhaling it. And then, maybe you don't need the whole piece of chocolate cake if you're enjoying with permission, or maybe you find out something that you don't like. It's funny. We had a client. She was so funny. Once she started giving herself permission to start eating some things like pizza, guess what? She doesn't actually like pizza. She's like, I don't enjoy it. And it's all the healthy version. Like, she's like, I've tried all the, it's just not my thing. Which I was like, how do you not like pizza? What is wrong with you? But she gave herself permission to really enjoy it. And that's when she was like, I don't enjoy it. But before, she was literally just shoveling pizza in and not noticing if she really enjoyed it or not. So,
Yeah. I know one thing you even told me I feel like a long time ago now, but putting your fork down in between bites,
yeah.
That just makes you way more aware of how much you're consuming, what you're consuming, if you're actually enjoying what you're consuming, for sure. Yeah, that one's been a huge one. I know I always tell myself, it used to be kind of like, well, this isn't worth the calories, but
Yeah, right?
because I don't focus on counting calories at all. But yeah, if I take a bite of something and if it's something that I am treating myself to, it better be worth it, And if it's not, then I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to. But that's where you can get into that mindlessness of I told myself I was going to have this chocolate cake. And even if it's not that good, I'm just going to finish this piece,
Yeah.
But no, actually, if you're going to treat yourself, then enjoy it instead of mindlessly just continuing because you think you should. Yeah.
And yeah, right. I deserve it. So I'm eating this whole piece of cake. But wouldn't it be nice to know if it was a shitty piece of chocolate cake 2 bites in? You know what I mean? Like, they're a chocolate cake that you're like, oh, this is heaven on a plate. And versus that wasn't, Brad still says that it's not worth calories. I'm like, oh, he's still in fitness mindset, bodybuilding mindset from years ago. But yeah, it's really funny because I want to know if it's worth it. And if it's not, and I just walk away and there's no guilt because I'm not enjoying it. It's not because I can't have it. It's because I don't enjoy it. And that's it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. What's one myth about sugar addiction or emotional eating that you'd love to bust? This is another favorite question of mine.
Oh, yeah. And I think you and I are totally we're on the same page about so many things, but this is the one where I'm like, I want to bang my head against a wall. You don't need more willpower. I wish the word willpower did not exist. I mean, I think I lived most of my life with willpower and you just drive through and you just push through. You don't need to try harder. You don't need to be disciplined. You don't need more self-control, right? It really has nothing to do with how strong you are. Because what we just talked about, this is totally about brain chemistry and how your brain is wired in this moment, right now, not how it's going to be in a week, 2 weeks, or 5 years. You can absolutely change it, right? Because this is about, it's about like I said, brain chemistry. It's about blood sugar instability, like we talked about. It's about habit loops. It's about emotional coping patterns. you're not weak. I can't even say it enough. Like, you are not weak. You just don't have the tools that you need or the support that you need now, but you can get it and you can absolutely change your life in not that much time.
Yeah. 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 Enough about that one for sure. Yeah. So you help clients shift from guilt and shame into,
Not motivators, they're traps. So we need to learn how to start beating ourselves up. Okay. Like, that's a hard one. That really is the hard one. But I think if you just pause, and again, listen, I gotta quote Ted, like, just be curious, right? And we don't judge. And so the pausing has been really, really huge, especially if you start having that thought like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. Pause, stop right then and there, and just take a few breaths and start asking yourself better questions. What do I need right now? Because as women, we take care of so many other people, and we do for other people. We're taking care of everybody else's needs. Like, what do I need right now? What is
yeah.
it? And maybe it really is, I just need to eat something, or I just need some protein, or maybe it's I just need to get a hug or call a friend or set a boundary. That's a big one. But once we do that and start like really stopping even for a few minutes and then taking care of ourselves, like, that to me is so empowering. That's where the magic happens.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely you have to learn from it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to happen, especially if you're just starting in your journey, but you just have to learn from it and then come up with your plan for the next time that situation arises. And also, I mean, just celebrating all those small wins. So maybe you go a day
Mhm.
and you are still eating everything that you know is not going to make you feel the greatest, but maybe you do have a good day where you just pass up like something in the office that somebody brought in. Like, that's still a huge win. I feel like us as people, we focus on the negative so much. And so we just need to shift, right? To like, yeah, focusing on all those positive, just smallest little wins. And that's just going to compile and yeah, keep going from there to help you ultimately, get to where you want to be.
We
Takes
don't need to
time.
be perfect, like you said. Like, we don't need to be perfect. Like, if you're making a change or one change, or it was better than yesterday, or you're doing something versus, nothing, just like, I forget it, I'm just eating a bag of chips and just go down the old rabbit
Exactly.
hole. Like,
Yeah.
then you're winning if you're taking small steps for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there a breakthrough moment for you or maybe even a client where emotional eating turned into healing?
This is a good one. Yeah. So this makes me think of one of my clients. She's funny, right? Because she's like, I can't have. We all do this, right? There's certain things I just can't have in the house. I can't have like chocolate bars. I can't have whatever. So she was always talking about these like little mini chocolate bars, right? And so like she just could not have them. And so one day on a call, we're just talking, and I'm like, what if you like stop trying to control food, right? Like, stop trying to control, like, I can't have this around and I can't be around this, and just listening again to what the craving is actually telling you. And she works from home a lot. And she was like, you know what? Like, I don't think I've had any social interaction today. I think I'm missing social interaction. And I work with a lot of high-powered women who are lonely because they travel a lot, or they work from home and they're single, or they're busy doing for everybody all day long. And so that was like really the shift for her. She's like, oh, I'm a social being forced to work from home, and that doesn't work for me. And again, because she's single, she could be like in her house and be like, she's like, there could be days I don't talk to anybody, but I can eat a bunch of chocolate. I can go to the store and like eat that, right? So now she can be like, what do I really need? What do I really need? And what's really going on?
Yeah. You said the I can't word too,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Even just changing that thinking, not I can't, but I'm just not doing that. I'm not doing that because I have X, Y, and Z goals, like that just changes that
Yeah.
mindset instead of, again, just trying to willpower through something. But when you kind of spin it around and say, I'm not having that, even if you say, I'm not going to have that today instead
Mhm.
of I can't, because then that's all your brain wants to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not having it
Yeah.
today. Like, let's just take it day by
Yeah.
day. Does it really
Exactly.
matter?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny because sometimes when people sit down and they're like starting a 90-day program, like, I need to know every step. And I'm like, no, because but people are like planners, and especially busy women. They're like, I need to plan. Like, I live by my planner. I'm like, okay, well, we'll take it week by.
Yes. I know, I mean, you probably get this too, but one thing, like, I tell my clients throughout is just embrace the process,
Yeah.
Same thing, yeah, day by day, meal by meal,
Yeah.
whatever it is, like, embrace the process, and in the end, they always say, "I really appreciated this process."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But the unknown is scary. Like, we
It
get
is.
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever had to reframe a craving as a deeper unmet need? And how did that go? Or maybe if you could think of a client example as well.
Yeah, yeah. I know I brought up the one about the Diet Coke, but a lot of times it's like connection. I feel like most of my ladies are missing connection with other like human beings, really. And I feel like that, that can happen to me too a lot because sometimes I will work, and I don't know, Lindsie, if this happens to you. Like, I'm home working a lot. And then if my son is with his dad and then it's like quiet at night, that I'm like, I barely had any like social interaction. And if there's food around, like I can like eat that when I'm like, I need connection. And now, of course, there are days where I just want quiet too. So I think
Yeah.
it's really like, what do you need? Cause I mean, I had like, God, one of those like a couple weeks ago where I'd been home. It was like the second day at home, like from working at home and not really talking to anybody. And I was at home that night and I was like, I'm going to get in my car and go drive like, is this even takeout? And I was like, no, stop. What do you need? You have food at home. And then I just texted a friend and we were just like making like silly jokes. And I was like, this is really what I needed. And so sometimes it's connection on a deeper level though. Like
Yeah.
sometimes, like I said, we have, we're busy and then, it's months that you haven't seen a friend or connected with someone besides like your little family unit. Like you got to connect
Yeah.
with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely different for different people. You kind of bring up a good point there. No, I don't think I could be a hermit, but there are some days where, yeah, like I just love my quiet. I love my
Yeah.
alone time. My husband travels for work. And so sometimes I get that. But then like for me, instead of going to food, a lot of the times it's exercise. It's even just, just like
Mm-hmm.
fresh air.
Yeah.
I have definitely learned how to cope with that more. But yeah, I think you're right. The connection piece is what I feel like is a
Yeah.
big part
Yeah.
of emotional eating and, sometimes the sugar addiction that goes along with it.
And I love that you
Um,
brought up exercise. That's one of those healthy coping mechanisms versus chocolate cake all the time.
yes. Yes, much healthier. Yeah, I mean, and just breaking that cycle then by doing that, because you do that a
Mhm.
few times, and then your mind's gonna be like, "Wow, well, I actually felt good by doing that." So, yeah. What's something that you wish more women understood about cravings and emotional hunger?
Okay, besides willpower, that you can change the pattern. You can break the pattern. Like this is not what is set up for you for life, right? You're not doomed to be like, I can't control my cravings. I can't walk by the candy aisle. I'm going to be this weight for for the rest of my life, right? I'm sure you hear this too. I can't lose weight because no, all of it is like, it's not, maybe some of it's easier, but it doesn't have to be a crazy hard process if we learn to tune in and figure out what works for us. I think that's another thing, right? Is that
Yeah.
please stop judging yourself against, any man that you're around because they're just on, totally different with their eating and the way their body like just burns fat like that. Yeah. And that you can absolutely change. You can totally take control, even if it's the tiniest step. You can totally do it.
Yeah. At any point, anytime, like any age. I mean, yeah. And I mean, you're a great example of that. You didn't just accept that all of this medical stuff was happening, to you.
Yeah.
You let it happen for you, and you then took control and you started discovering, what else was out there. And unfortunately, like, especially in the medical system, I feel like, but, when they hand you a diagnosis, it's also a lifelong condition is what they tell you, or, whatever else,
Yeah.
that means you're going to have this for the rest of your life. Like, and so, yeah, if you just accept that, then yeah, then
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what you're setting yourself up for, and you're going to feel stuck the rest of your life with that. But there is so much more that you can do to improve your symptoms, maybe even heal completely instead of just accepting, whatever it is.
Yeah, and I think you said this on one of your podcasts, like, specialists only know a piece. Like, even my OBGYN, who I absolutely adored, like, who got me through all the surgery and all that, if she had known a little bit more. I also wasn't very, straightforward about the amount of sugar I was eating because I was in denial, but maybe if she had known a little bit more about that, maybe we could have talked diet stuff as prevention, right? Like, I was already needed surgery, but, like, on the
Yeah,
prevention side of it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you could tell your past self one thing about sugar and emotional eating, what would it be?
That emotional eating is just a signal slash, like, it's kind of like, it's not really a problem, it's a symptom, right? Like, if I had looked back and actually tuned in, I would have saw that I wasn't being weak because trying to not eat sugar wasn't working for me, right? Just trying. But I was overwhelmed and I was undernourished. As you had said before, I was using sugar to cope with stress, also burnout and exhaustion. Like, I needed caffeine and sugar. And I used to say that my coffee was just like a transport mechanism for my sugar because I had so much sugar in there
Oh, yeah.
just to get through the day. And I wasn't really taught to listen to my body. But if I had just done that, right? So I'd just be like, you just need to understand yourself. You just need to listen to your body and understand what works for you. And then you can break the cycle.
Yeah, your body is talking to you. You just have to listen for sure.
Yeah.
What's one simple daily habit or mindset shift that you would recommend to start healing?
Oh, good one. I would say treat your self-care. I know that word is used so much, but as like it's a non-negotiable, it's not a reward for like next week or the weekend. Again, women, we take care of everybody else, right? And so we need to take care of ourselves a little bit more, even if it's 5 minutes a day. Like you said, go for a walk or you sit with your morning coffee. Like that's what I love to do is sit with my morning coffee when it's quiet. That's why I'll get up before anybody else. So, it really is taking care of yourself and sending that signal to the brain. I am safe. I am taking care of myself because I matter. And I'm taking care of my needs. And then it really does. And this one takes a little bit more time with self-care, but then you feel like less out of control, less overwhelmed when you take care of yourself. And so then you ultimately start relying less on sugar and food to manage your emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daily habit.
I heard something a while back. Self-care is selfless. Yeah, because it's that age old, put your own oxygen mask on before you put on anybody else's, or, you got to fill up your own cup before you can fill up anybody else's. It's so true. And I don't have kids, but as a nurse, I feel like I was always in that caregiver mode and I kind of just naturally have that, so I just want to take care of everybody and everything and, hyperachiever stuff. And so, it took me my, wake up call a few years ago to be like, I do need to take a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. Sometimes it's longer, other days, sometimes it's shorter, but just to do something, for myself. Sure.
Yeah, and anyone who's listening is like, I don't have time for that. Okay, so why don't you do little self-care for 7 days in a row, and then don't do it, and tell me which days feel better.
Exactly. Yeah, just commit to a few days for sure. Yeah. So last question, where can listeners learn more about your work and connect with you?
Yeah, awesome. So you can just go to my website, which is empower-wellnesscoaching.com. I'm also on Instagram, sugar_coach. Don't know why I picked that. Maybe somebody had something like similar. But I also have created a school community for those that don't know school, SKOOL, which is just a great community. We wanted to just be, where we can all speak openly and create a community of women that really want to lift each other up. So if you go to school, look for us. It's the Mind and Body Reset Hub. So I would love to connect.
Is there anything else that you would like to share? Like something that I see in the background, maybe?
Oh, and my cookbook. I am terrible about this stuff. Thank you, Lindsie. On my website, you can get the digital version of it, or this lovely version is on Amazon. So yeah, yummy recipes that are all gluten-free, low glycemic index, basically won't mess with your blood sugar. And there's, still some sweets in there that you can enjoy.
Yes. And simple. I love the just simple, easy. It doesn't have to get complicated. So yeah, love those recipes. Definitely check those out.
Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, that was when I was creating these recipes or picking the ones that I love, I'm like, there are so many cookbooks I love from like famous, holistic doctors. And I'm like 25 ingredients later, I'm like, oh my God. Like I want it to be simple and that you would probably have most of the things at your house.
Exactly. Yeah, which I love about that. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining and sharing all that good stuff. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Today's episode really spoke to you and you're ready to stop letting food control your life. I've got something just for you. My Hunger Boss Mindful Eating Challenge. It is kicking off again on June 23rd. This is a 3-day challenge requiring no more than 20 minutes per day that you can do at a time convenient for you. And in just a few days, you'll learn how to tune into your body, calm the chaos around food, and finally feel confident in your choices without counting a single calorie. Spots are limited, so head to the link in the show notes and grab your seat now. I'll see you in there. Wow, another amazing conversation. Big thanks to Kerri for sharing her time, her wisdom, and her heart with us today. I hope you're feeling as inspired and empowered as I am. If you'd like to connect with Kerri, you can find all the info in the show notes. And if you love today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a friend who needs to hear it, and leave a quick review. It helps us reach even more amazing women just like you. Until next time, keep nourishing your body, healing your heart, and thriving. Unfiltered and unstoppable.